Hello and welcome to episode 194 of the 77 Club. Here's some bloke with the socials.
Some Dutch fella. The Wall 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram. At 77 Club Podcast on Twitter. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Please rate and tell a friend.
Jack Williams is here.
Hi, both.
Physically, I don't know if he's mentally here after the weekend in Liverpool, but somebody who isn't here is Bayliss, and he would normally be here every week, but he said something last week where I think he was trying to have a go at the Athletic, and it turns out that the news or the passage of words that he saw was fake, and he'd been duped into thinking that it was real, and it was compounded by the fact that he didn't recognise the name Doris de Vries, who, of course, used to play for Wolves and has been touted as a potential director of football. So I think, what was it, Harry? I think somebody pointed out a tweet saying, or somebody had tweeted the video of him saying it, and then I think Dan, the bastion of free speech and take it on the chin, took about 3 seconds to quit the podcast and leave the group.
Yeah, so it's official. I don't know whether he'll come back next season, but he has quit. But what I will say about it is, I deleted the Twitter app off my phone, so I have to log in to go on it now. So I probably would have spotted this before we did the podcast, but none of us did we? None of us had seen this article.
No.
And a lot of people were fooled by it in Bayliss' defense. A lot of people were, as ridiculous as it was. But if he didn't not remember that Doris de Vries used to play for Wolves in goal, it wouldn't have been so bad. But the fact that it got clipped up, loads of people quote tweeting it saying that we've only supported Wolves since Fosun took over.
That's the best one. That is the best one. Say you've been a fan since 2017 without saying you've been a fan since 2017.
Well, he didn't take it well, did he? He didn't take it well.
No, not at all. No.
I'm quite surprised. But
it took... But the thing was, I don't think he's yet realised that it wasn't a real article. So, he may like mentally recover, be back on the podcast, and it's all going to happen again when he realises that it's fake.
It's an important message, though, isn't it? Because we've probably done it a few times before, but it's slipped through the net, where you just do believe what you see on Twitter, don't you? And the way the lad who did it made it look really real, didn't he? So at a glance, if you were glancing through, you're just going to believe that, aren't you?
He did it well, didn't he? To be fair, and I know I could tell by our reactions when he said the thing about Roger Johnson.
We were all like, "What?"
Yeah. But none of us jumped in to say
exactly.
No, we didn't. We were just sort of like, "Oh, really? Okay, yeah." But
well, I moved on to a story right after it about Moutinho apparently wanting a new deal that I'd seen that Tim Spears put, and I was thinking to myself after when I seen all this come out, was that real? Did I get duped as well?
Are we in a simulation?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
So hopefully Bayliss will be back next season. It was pretty... It went everywhere, didn't it, the clip? We were getting absolutely annihilated. But what I will say is, Sam, it's the most views we've ever had for a podcast on YouTube. We gained loads of subscribers. We gained a load of followers on Twitter. So maybe sometimes having a balls up like that and getting the podcast about good or bad helps you grow a bit, I suppose.
It was quite funny though, because Matt Cooper and Dave Azzopardi was straight on it, weren't they?
Oh, of course.
He's had a shocker here.
Yeah.
But no, it's true. I thought it was quite funny though. The way that he just literally quit and then Bayliss left the group, that was just brilliant. It was just a beautiful moment.
194 podcasts, and that's probably his only big voodoo, or ours in general, isn't it? So some are gonna slip through the net. Funny though.
Very funny. Right, okay, let's turn our attentions to footballing matters. I want to start with you, Jack, because you still maybe look a little bit jaded. You don't look too bad, to be fair, but you sound a bit croaky. That's because you made a weekend with it to going to Liverpool. Firstly, what was it like as a weekend and then leading into the football?
So as a weekend, it was great. Had a great laugh. You'll notice I'm on the squash tonight rather than my usual beer because I'm still a bit tender. It was a bit of a struggle. It's a bit of a struggle today at work. I'm not going to lie, but I had a good weekend. Really, we went out and just had a few drinks around Liverpool and had a curry on the Saturday and felt a bit rough yesterday morning, but obviously made a nice weekend of it and just had a great day. Really, I'll be honest with you. Just the whole game and experience. It was just very, very amusing all day. It was just very, very funny because I honestly didn't know, and I'll say this about the players and about the fans, whether we'd go there and turn up or whether we'd just go there and roll over. and I think both the players and the fans turned up and gave a go at it, which I was really pleased with. It's one of the best away ends of the season. I think it was hilarious. It was actually such good banter from the Wolves fans. Like the cheering was great. They got behind the team as much as they could. Absolutely ripped the Liverpool fans at every given opportunity. Obviously, I think the early goal definitely helps there, but we gave it back and then some, really. And I think the players responded. I was quite happy with the performance. I thought we played quite well. We created chances, but it's just yet again, we just need to be a bit more clinical, because there was definitely at least more than one goal in that game for us. And taking Neto off early didn't help, did it? I don't think. It was quite inconvenient, and some of the moments from then on were just a bit comical from us, particularly in our decision making in certain areas, but.
In terms of the crowd, what was your favourite moment? Was it the spreading the false rumour that Villa had scored an equaliser to make it 3-3? Because that went round the ground like wildfire, and we were watching it on Sky at home, and the commentator was like, "Not according to our sources." So I think somebody's had a little bit of fun in the away end there. Was it launching a flare back at?
There's a couple of things. Yeah,
or singing "You Nearly Won the League."
You nearly won the league was going on for ages, and it was really winding them up. Yeah, it was really winding up, and they were properly getting on their nerves. Yeah, you nearly won the league. You nearly won the league, just for ages. But with the cheers and everything, every time City scored each of their 3 goals, it was kind of like Wolves had scored a goal. It was starting going mental, and just to rip the piss out of them. Really, the fake cheer was hilarious, because honestly, you saw it on the TV as well. It started going mental in the stands, and it was just obviously just someone winding them up. And then I think Mo Salah even thinks it, doesn't he, when he scored? He thinks that he's got his own Aguero moment, and really he just came back down to earth straight away. With the flair, though, I think basically what happened was the Liverpool fans threw that at us from above, because we were winding them up that much. They threw the flare at us, but I know it just hit the floor, but then as soon I didn't see it, because it was kind of the other end to me, and then someone just must have picked it up and lobbed it, and it went in the neighbouring stand right at the front, and it was right there, and they having to put it out. And I heard on the news today that a Man City fan been arrested for throwing a flare at the City game. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's the precious Scousers, you know what they're like, the darling fans of the league. So, but surely throwing a lit flare into the away end is worse than throwing it on the pitch, which the other bloke's been done for at City. But you don't see that in headlines, do you? You just see, oh, look how good they are singing "You Never Walk Alone," and then
and then 90 minutes.
But that's what I mean. It was just a great away day. Obviously, we had nothing to play for, but we were just up for it, and everyone was in good spirits, and we got a response on the pitch, and we just went there to take the piss as much as we could, really, and we did a great job of it. We really did. I was really proud,
because we're never really going to be realistically involved in a title decider ourselves, so it's good to sort of be sat on the front row of one happening before you. But absolutely. Harry, with the game, I think you pretty much picked the team last week, pretty much got it spot on. I mean, Jack's mentioned him already. Neto, I thought he was brilliant. He was causing Liverpool a lot of problems. There was the commentary for the game saying, I'm sure that Liverpool players are happy to see Neto going off. Brings on Hwang, who I think he's one of the worst attacking players we've had for a very, very long time. He gave the ball away 20 times in 68 minutes. I mean, that is impressive. But I mean, how is he that bad when you look at the bench and Podence is set on it?
Yeah, I don't get it. Again, I'll say it. He's got naked pictures of Bruno, but he come on, and if, like people are saying in the comments, if Neto stays on that pitch, we probably win it, because we were doing so well when he was on the pitch. Obviously, he scored. He goes off. That first chance he had, pretty good save from Maddison, to be fair, but could have done better. But it was second half, man. That one when Raul cut it across to him, he missed it, and then he couldn't keep it in when he did that weird slide. And you can see on the replay, Podence, and I can't remember who stood next to him.
Fabio.
They're just going mad, like. And as we know, Podence has been liking sweets after the game, saying how's Hwang come on before him. But I can't believe the downfall of the bloke. No. I mean, he come in when he was on loan. We know he got his goals, but he weren't as bad then when he was scoring the goals as he has been lately. I can't believe the fall from grace from him. He's just all of a sudden he looks like he can't play football. He's got a bit of pace. He's got a good turn and that on him, but his first touch is horrendous. It just bounces on him every time. And as we saw, we thought he was a good finisher, but I think he's starting to show he might not be, and his decision making is absolutely horrendous. Really bad performance.
That's what it is for me. The decision making is just, it was getting to the point where it was actually just quite funny, because it was just, so the one that sticks in my head, and I've not watched the game back properly, but this is just from me viewing it from behind the goal, basically, is there's a great opportunity where there's two players running into the far end of the box. One's Dendoncker, I assume the other was Jimenez, and instead he tries to play a through ball to Ait-Nouri and completely fluffs it up, but he doesn't put his head up and look over his shoulder. He just tries to play what's straight in front of him and mess that up, and that was a golden opportunity if he'd managed to get a different pass away, because we'd have pretty much been in the box again. But it's just, poor decision making. But the question is, though, why does he keep playing so many minutes when he's clearly the weak link at the moment?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, Jack, is we know Podence had that knock, didn't we? And then all of a sudden, he weren't coming back to fitness. Now, whether something's happened behind the scenes, and especially seeing him liking these tweets, it's all you can assume, because he does pick Hwang every time, and it can't be on performances, as we've said. So something's happened behind the scenes, even though Bruno Lage pied that a bit, didn't he, in one of his recent press conferences, saying nothing's happened. It's got to have, because you've got to bring on Podence instead of him.
Is it fitness? Is it fitness though? Is Podence still not 100% fit? Or, but I mean, I'd rather Trincao. I'd rather bring on Trincao. Do you know what would have been good to bring on yesterday in that situation? Adama.
I knew that was coming. Yeah,
because as soon as we got the ball, we gave it away. I mean, how many times? I mean, the team as a whole, I thought we gave the ball away way more than we should, especially against a team that is that good on with the high press. But was it Andy Robertson that came out? Didn't you say, Harry, and earlier in the season, and Matt Target as well said it in the past that they're men. And what I didn't appreciate much with Traore is that actually, although his end product was shocking, at least when he was on the pitch, we had the ball a bit more, and he very rarely lost the ball. So I think that's what we've missed as well with that. But yeah, completely agree. However, one thing I will say, I thought that was a real bonus and really good to see, was that Raul seemed much improved.
Yeah, I've just got to say, although we've mentioned Hwang and some of our finishing on the day was poor, but we played well. We did. We sat back. We had the game plan, getting the early goal. And Raul, every time the ball, especially first half, has been pumped up to him. Never seen him miss so many headers. He won more headers in that game than he has for the majority of his return. And him and Neto had a good understanding, as we've mentioned. And we did. We played well. I thought we defended really well at times. Obviously, towards the end, it fell apart slightly. I thought Totti, really a good performance from him, apart from that one when he slipped where Bolly saved him. And Ait-Nouri, man, he was flying forward, wasn't he? I thought he looked really good in attacking. But it helped as well that they never had Van Dijk in their back line. So it was a really good opportunity for us to win, really, when you think about it, because they were defending so bad. But good performance from us, but obviously the scoreline is all that matters, and they beat us in the end.
That's it, yeah. It doesn't feel like a 3-1 loss. So,
it didn't matter, did it? It didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I do remember for their first goal, their equaliser. I don't know what it was, but there's a few of us sort of stood. We were stood like right, not far behind the goal. But as soon as he hit it, I started cheering because I thought he was going wide. So I did that like fake celebration, way, and it went in. Oh, so that's like I thought it was going to be on like telly, like you know when that Neves fan went way.
The Derby goal.
Yeah, Derby goal.
Top bins.
So I thought it was going to be like that, but no one's seen the footage yet, actually. But it is entertaining. One thing I will say, though, again, probably from the position I was sat in, it looked a stonewall penalty when Totti Gomez gets taken out. And it didn't even seem to get any coverage anywhere else, did it?
It didn't, no.
And I saw a tweet today saying that Liverpool have gone the whole season without conceding the penalty. And like, well, that's why, isn't it? If you don't look at their things that are penalties, if you don't even think that's worth a look on VAR, because... Again, had a great angle of that, actually. And Totti is just looking at the ball. His eyes don't leave the ball at all. He doesn't even know that he's about to get clattered, and he gets completely taken out. And it's like, nah, not Liverpool. No, don't be silly.
I saw that video, and they played it alongside Moutinho's handball against City for their penalty. And actually, when you take into account those points and what they're worth at the end of the season, it does make a difference, doesn't it? Because arguably, without that Moutinho penalty, you're looking at City losing the league. But there you go.
It's just nonsense, isn't it?
I looked at the stats earlier as well, and obviously Liverpool had like nearly 30 shots, but we had one less clear-cut chance than them. So it's one of those games, wasn't it, where they had a lot of the play, but we could have easily have won it. And when Ruddy come on, I did fear the worst, but apart from picking the ball out the net, he didn't do much wrong, did he, to be honest?
No, he commands his area well, doesn't he? And he's a decent enough keeper, but he's not the quality that you need to be competing in the Premier League.
What was going on for their second goal? That was the opposite end to us then, and it seemed a bit all over the place.
It was. It was just all like ping pong around the box, and then Salah literally got the final touch to it like 2 yards out just to sneak it in. But it was just a bit of madness in the box, basically. Yeah.
It seems like we had an opportunity to clear that at some point, which probably should have done a little bit better.
Yeah, it was weird because I think when Villa went 2-up, and obviously the Liverpool fans were buzzing, we kind of upped our game as well, didn't we? He kind of like egged us on to defend better. And then when the ground started going a bit glum after they realised City was making a comeback, that's kind of when we petered off. It was quite strange in that way, I thought. But what I will say, great. I sat down on the sofa and I thought we're just going to see City win easily and Liverpool win easily. And great afternoon of entertainment, I must say.
Yeah,
even
and so much going on. So much going on, wasn't there? And both ends of the table, Champions League places. Obviously, us dropping. Was it the last 12 games? It's 8th, 10th. We joked. I said a couple of weeks ago, Jack. I was like, "Do you think Brighton can catch us?" And you're like, "Nah, don't worry about it. It's fine." Fine. And here we are.
I was banking on us like beating Norwich. Then I thought if we beat Norwich, we'll get 8th, and we can't even do that, can we? Lately, that's the problem. But yesterday aside, and yesterday was a good performance. It was quite refreshing. It was a really good laugh. Everyone had a great time. Really good way to end the season, even though we lost. It doesn't take anything away from the fact that we're bottled 8th place here. Arguably 7th, 2 wins. If we'd have beat Burnley and beat Leeds, Norwich, we would have had enough points to be in Europe now. It's a massive missed opportunity, and it's a real problem. And, getting a point against Chelsea and having a good laugh yesterday doesn't sort of paper over those cracks, really. It's been shocking relegation form, and we're finishing 10th from the position we were in, about 10 points clear of the team in 9th place. With not that long to go, we've really messed up.
Just throwing it out there, do you think we performed so well yesterday because a lot of those players on the pitch were putting themselves in the shop window? They were thinking, right, the whole world's watching, the title's on the line. Let's play our hearts out to get that move, lads. Like
did Hwang not get that memo?
He's already got his deal, mate. He's already got his contract signed. He's like, I'm here.
Don't worry
I'll just sit on the floor if you want me to. Raul might have upped his game thinking, let me get that move to Bayern or whatever he wants. Maybe that's why we played so well.
I mean, the thing is, you talk about shop windows and stuff, but I mean, clubs are still going to look at you over a course of the season if you haven't been doing it over the course of the season. But there was a tweet from Sporting Life, Harry, that we were tagged in, and they had the Wolves form from the last 17 games in the Premier League, and expected goals per game was 0.99, which is the worst in the league. Expected goals against per game 1.8, 16th in the league. Expected goal difference per game minus 0.81. I mean, it's shocking, isn't it? 19th. And expected points per game 0.92. Jackie mentioned it there. It's relegation form. You're taking relegation form into what is a summer of overhaul.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that gives me a bit of comfort, really, is the fact that I think everyone knows potentially the whole spine of our team is going to be changed. So I don't think it's going to necessarily feed into the new players, this bit of form going. People then will start to question the manager and obviously say the manager's been in charge. But I think until you've actually got him a decent squad of players that he's picked himself, or we're convinced he's picked himself. I don't include Hwang in that because I think that was for YouTube views. We can't really judge him. We can't really judge him. So I think we all know there's going to be a bit of an overhaul now. I think everyone's expecting Neves to leave. Obviously, we've already heard that players like Ruddy are moving on, and there's probably going to be quite a few. But we need to get players in quickly because the season starts very soon. And you see teams like Villa have already started making moves, haven't they? So we can't hang about here because the team is going to need an overhaul. So I'm not worried about the mentality carrying into next season because it's going to be probably a very different starting lineup that we see here.
Yeah, Mark Rhodes has made the point in the comment section. Villa have now signed Kamara, Coutinho, and in pole position signed Tarkowski on a free, while we're hoping Moutinho signs a 2-year extension and praying Morgan Gibbs White signs. Are we lagging behind already? Harry, are we lagging behind already?
Yeah, unless we wish to get our act together quick, which you should expect. But talking to Mark Rose, I got the wrong comment up. But this one, Morgan Gibbs White. What do you think of that comment?
If we expect Morgan Gibbs White to be our saviour when he comes back, we will be relegated, no question.
Wow. Well, he's been offered a new deal, apparently, hasn't he? But we've got to watch what we say now, haven't we? I think it was the Athletic, but it could have been a hoax.
Could have been a complete hoax. It's just some bloke.
Yeah. It's either Morgan Gibbs White being offered a new deal or De Vries.
Roger Johnson.
No, but I would take Gibbs White. I'd have him back. But I think we've said before in loads of podcasts, if he's not guaranteed first team football, he will not want to play for us. And I don't think he will be, will he? I don't think he will be. So
I don't.
I think
he
he'll be moving on. And also, this is confirmed. I actually checked this. Tim Spears did say that Moutinho reportedly wants a 2-year contract if he's going to sign a new deal. Which would you give him that, Jack? I think me and Sam said before we come on.
I would give him. I just give him what he wants.
With me, Moutinho, he's like the highest paid player, isn't he? So it's the wages that always just make me think, really, because you're going to have to keep paying him 100 grand a week for the next 2 years. That's a big chunk of our wage bill, isn't it? Really, but I think you've got to. Otherwise, if Neves goes, we're down to just Dendoncker in midfield at the moment, the way it's shaping up.
And if it's on the understanding of, okay, you can have a 2-year deal, and if you know that you're not going to be starting every game, he's a great option as a non-starter, isn't he? He's great to have on the bench. The bench gets improved, and he's great. I think he's good to have around those younger players as well, because it shows there's longevity and a financial payoff in a career. If you work hard, you look after himself, because he looks phenomenal, doesn't he, for his age?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can obviously he's a true professional, and if we're going to keep doing what we do and getting in sort of young prospects from Portugal and the continent, then he's going to be the lead by example. He's going to be their role model. So I've got no problem at all with Moutinho staying, but I think when he is getting into his 36th, 37th year, he maybe shouldn't be starting every game in a long Premier League season, and we need more options, really, and that's where we need to invest. On Gibbs White, I don't think he'll be guaranteed first team football, but it's also the way we set up, isn't it? I don't think it necessarily usually suits him. Whether Bruno Lage will overhaul that and make us more attacking, then maybe, it would fit in. But I think if he wants guaranteed Premier League first team football, he's going to have to probably go to, a newly promoted team or something, really, you'd expect. I don't think he's going to get that here or any other sort of, top half Premier League team. We're just about a top half Premier League team.
Just on Gibbs White not playing, it links in a bit with this comment. Tom said, we mentioned this earlier, didn't we, about Podence liking tweets about Hwang. If Bruno Lage stays, I think Podence will go as well, because you can tell he's clearly not happy with him bringing Hwang on over him. So maybe that shores up another space for Gibbs White, doesn't it? But then you'd expect we'd probably try and sign someone. But we've said before, Gibbs White, if he wasn't our player and we were signing a lad like him out of the Championship who just got player of the season for a team that are pushing for the playoffs, we'd probably be happy with that signing, wouldn't we?
I think we would, yeah. It's just there's a bit of history, isn't there? Some people think he hasn't got the best attitude. His girlfriend doesn't help the situation sometimes. So he hasn't got the best relationship with the fans, have they, to each way? The one thing is about the Podence thing. I know he liked that tweet, which was quite funny because it's what everyone else is thinking at the same time as well. But he does like a lot of shit on Twitter, doesn't he? He's a bit all over the place, Instagram or whatever it might be. So I won't read too much into it, but I think he's a.
I like seeing players do that. I like it when players are just themselves on social media instead of the ones who have like someone to do it for them. I'm not a fan of that. If you're going to be on there, do it yourself. I love that Richarlison having a go at bloody Carragher the other day. Things like that. It's just real, isn't it? Either be on it and be yourself, or don't. I think, but that's probably a story for another day.
Who was that player where they'd obviously got a memo from someone and it said, put something like, we go again, lads, next week. He just copied and pasted the whole thing and said, say something like...
It could have been, I think it was Anna Chibi. And
I think you're right.
I think it was. That's who. That was hilarious. That was. Yeah.
Genius.
Neves is off. Yeah, Jack's saying in the comments. Not our Jack.
We were talking about last week. Who do you build a team around? Harry, do you think Neto is a player that you can build a team around?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully his injury is not too concerning, isn't it? He come out on Instagram and said he's okay, but definitely. I mean, if he can get the form back he did before his injury, he's amazing, isn't he? Let's be honest, and he showed signs of it in those first 20 minutes or so against Liverpool too. So he's definitely one of our best players. So got to be building a team around him. I agree. I mean, the midfield is the concerning area with Neves, potentially Moutinho. Maybe Dendoncker might go as well. But I think our major concerns are the spine and midfield, aren't they, really? But definitely Neto's going to be one of the stars, you'd hope, next season.
John Ruddy is definitely leaving. He's been out. And so I think we've been linked with a goalkeeper from Chicago Fire.
Where was this from, Sam? Quick.
Gabriel Svalina. This is from Liam Keane at the Express and Star.
Oh, we're all right. We're all right.
I fact-checked it. So, yeah, I mean, 18 years old, plays for Chicago Fire. Is he £3 million better than Sondergaard, Harry? That's the question, because, there's some decent keepers in those Wolves ranks.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. No idea what he's like or who he is. So, got to trust their judgment on this one.
if he's 18 and a keeper, you can't imagine it's one to be straight into second choice, can it? It's probably going to be one for the future or get another loan out there, I think. But be interesting to see who is the second choice keeper next season. Do you think it's going to be Sondergaard or
must be?
Is it going to be another incoming who's going to?
What's Rob Green doing? What's he doing?
Scott Carson,
Mark Schwarzer.
Just won the league.
Sorry to. I've got to get. Mark's having a lot of coverage tonight, but I keep seeing this shout. Lopetegui, he's still at Sevilla, isn't he? The old Spain. We were linked with him before he joined Spain, weren't we? A few years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be incredible, but I feel like would he come to us? Would he from Sevilla? It'd be amazing. If Lars does go, that's who you want. Someone like that.
Do you think they'd do that though? Do you think if I suppose if the manager you've admired for quite a while becomes available, or you think you can get him, you might have to make a move on it, hadn't you? But I can't see it, to be honest. If it happened, I'd have mixed feelings until, because you're just judged on results, aren't you? Really, until if he comes in and smashes it, everyone will love him. So
he's leaving. Apparently, Jack Harris said he's leaving Sevilla. So maybe. I mean, I'd take him, but bit unfair on Bruno Lage, in my opinion. Let's
have a look at the score predictions, the season predictions that we did from last season. Jack, I don't think you're on that episode, so you're going to have to take Aaron Bayliss's answers on these ones. But it just tie into sort of how happy we probably should be, or not surprised that it's gone the way that we went. In terms of top scorers, Harry, you said Traore.
Oh, that went well. How did he get to?
Then you had Bailey said Raul, Aaron said Raul. That's correct. Top assists, Harry, you said Trincao.
Oh God, how did he get? 2, was it? He didn't get many.
What did he get?
It weren't many.
Trincao got 1 assist in all competitions. Bailey said Traore. Aaron said Moutinho. So
he probably got a few, didn't he?
Didn't do very one in all competitions.
Who was top? Who won it? Who got
Jimenez?
Raul?
Jimenez. 5 assists, 6 goals. People want to get rid of him. This is one that made me laugh. Was the Talking Wolves prediction that Finn came out with when he was obviously watching the episode, and they said Den Donker to get 15 goals.
Oh yeah, that was Tom.
Saying that.
That was Tom Parker.
That was a genius prediction. Most red cards, Harry said Mascara.
He didn't even play.
Aaron said Marcel. League position, Aaron said 9th. Bayless said 15th. Harry, you said 9th and then changed it to Bruno being sacked at Christmas, Big Sam coming in and finished 17th.
Well, we're far off.
somewhere in the middle of those. FA Cup, we had a 3rd round, a 4th round, and a 4th round. It was 4th round. League Cup, 3rd round. Harry said, Bayless said 4th, the quarterfinal, and Aaron said knocked out first opportunity. Dark Horse. Now, this is the interesting one. Because Harry, you said Morgan Gibbs-White is going to have his breakthrough season, and he did, but for Sheffield United, unfortunately. Aaron said Marcel was going to play every single game, and Bayliss said the dark horse would be Jose Sarr.
Wow, getting back on.
So getting back. I wonder what he's doing on a Wednesday these days.
One thing I'll say about Bayliss is he knows his goalkeepers.
Yes.
Oh my God, I just got that. That took me about a minute.
If there's one thing he knows about, it's foreign goalkeepers. Biggest flop of the season, Harry, you said Sace, which actually I'm going to give you half a point for that because
not far off.
After he came back from AFCON, he was dreadful. Bailey said Ryan Aït-Nouri wouldn't be very good, and Aaron said Traore is not going to be.
That's not far off.
Who was going to win the Premier League? Harry, you said Chelsea. Aaron put a lot of money on Chelsea or Leicester. Bailey said City. We need to get it back on the.
We need to get Bailey back on. He's the only one who knows one.
Ridiculous. For relegation, Harry, you said Palace, Watford, and Norwich. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Bailey said Palace, Norwich, Brentford, and Aaron said Watford, Southampton, and Burnley. So another 2 out of 3 there. So mixed bag of predictions, I think. Some right, some not right, some not right at all.
It just proves how much happens over a season, doesn't it? Because what you think's going to happen is you're never anywhere near, really, are you, most of the time? No. Very rare.
But realistically, I mean, 2 out of 3 of you said a 9th place finish. And I think, Jackie, you'd said that mid-table would probably be something that you'd be looking at as a success at the beginning of the season as well. And it's turned out to be 10th.
Yeah, just should have been 8th, shouldn't it? We should have been 7th, really.
Should have been 7th, yeah. Realistically.
At least it should have been 7th, but we just faded away, really. It's a massive missed opportunity as well, isn't it? Because it's going to be much tougher this league next year. You already mentioned Villa are obviously still, doing good business. Newcastle are going to spend. We'd probably be lucky to get top half next year.
But like Newcastle change it, don't they?
I mean, Bayliss predicted 15th, but there was a lot of people predicting that sort of thing at the beginning of the season. So the fact we have ended up 10th is a success, but it's just the way. If it had been the other way around, if we'd have started off like we've ended the season and then switched at Christmas and flew, we'd all be absolutely on cloud 9 now. It's just the way. It's just the way it's happened the wrong way around. And as we mentioned, I think players, as it started getting towards the end of the season, kind of down tools a little bit and knew a lot of them were leaving, so they weren't motivated to get Europe because it weren't going to affect them the season after, which is wrong. But I think psychologically that does happen to players, doesn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it does seem that way. So let's talk about pitch invasions, because I think there's been a couple of times, isn't there, recently? And I don't know why, Harry, it started to rear its ugly head again. It sort of started with the playoff semi-final between Sheffield United and Forest, and the fan come running on the pitch, headbutt Billy Sharp, who used to play for Forest.
Weird,
with his team having just won the game.
Strange. I don't get what all of a sudden there's been loads of instances. It wasn't the goalkeeper attacked for the City game too.
Yeah,
McBurney stamping on. Was it a Forest fan as well? I mean, pitch invasions have happened for years, but it's just weird how all of a sudden the last few times it's happened, something's kicked off, and I think they've got to try and stop it happening. But I can't say much because every time Wolves had a pitch invasion, I've been the first one to run on. So probably a bit hypocritical from me.
We've all been. I mean, we've all here been on a pitch when we're not supposed to be, but it certainly wasn't. There wasn't any violence. From that part,
that Billy Sharp one, that was horrendous, wasn't it? It could have been serious. The way he had, but like he's running full whack, wasn't he?
Full pace. He doesn't see him until the last second. He just turns his head and then he's just taken out instantly. It's just so out of order. Yeah. But I mean, there's trouble at Port Vale as well, wasn't there? I think in the playoffs as well. But there's a few of them coming up really. But I don't know what you could really do about it without putting up like barriers in front of the stands, because if that many people want to get on the pitch, they're going to get on the pitch. It just seems like, when we've done it in the past over previous years, I know I've been in when we won the league at Crewe and when we got promoted under McCarthy, these games on the pitch, but there was no trouble or anything like that. It was just just a good laugh. But
can you remember when we got promoted at Barnsley and that Wolves fan tried to jump on Mick McCarthy's back to celebrate with him, and he went tits and started trying to shrug him off and nearly fighting with him? But
what was the occasion where, was it Wigan, where there was like hundreds of Wigan fans and then one Wolves fan goes to
run in
and they all disperse?
That was Wigan away, That's
Wigan.
It's funny as well. It's just reminded me. Albion obviously did that pitch invasion for the under-23s game the other day against Wolves. That was just so cringe. That was like, oh god.
But what can you do? Because I mean, they will all get stadium bans. They will all get found out. There's no escaping.
Well, they won't.
There's cameras everywhere.
Only the people who are fighting. The normal people won't get any punishment or anything. But I don't know. It just seemed like there's more of it. But yeah, the one that was really shocking was that Billy Sharp one. I thought obviously none of them are good. It's just dangerous. But that one was just everyone's reaction was the same. I think really it was like God, because also what's that bloke doing, man? He's a grown man. He's been on the football TV cameras are there, and he thinks he's just going to like get away with it, and it's just going to like be a laugh because he's in prison now, and he's got sent to sentence straight originally. He's got 24 weeks or something. Yeah. So I'd imagine that'll have effect on his like family life and his job and everything, and just just stupid, isn't it?
Jack Crockford says he don't think Bruno Lage has lost the dressing room. Surely they don't move it. Just want to put a dad joke in there to lighten the mood.
I didn't even get that. So I'm not a dad. So I was like, no, I don't think they move the dressing room. The players, maybe they do. I don't know. So, I mean, what happens now? I mean, I don't know why I feel quite excited about the potential of building a team around like a Neto or bringing in somebody that you can sort of start the rebuild, because you have to go through a rebuild every so often. It happens to every team. But I think how much faith have you got in the recruitment, Jack?
None. To be honest, like we haven't had a good transfer window since we first got promoted to the Premier League, have we? Let's be honest. And now we're in the situation where we're hearing a lot more at the moment about outgoings than we are incomings. So feasibly, Neves is going to go. We already mentioned John Ruddy. Marcel's already said he's going. Sace is going to go. That's 4 first-team players from our squad that was already too small that we're going to have to replace. And, then some, really. Do I have faith that they're going to get it right? No, because Hwang was our marquee January signing when we could have been cementing a European finish. So there's been just a few weird things lately with transfers, hasn't there? The Hwang one is the one, obviously, that sticks in the mind. But loaning Traore to Barcelona,
that's terrible.
What was the point in that? It's completely pointless. It's completely backfired. I don't know the thinking of it. If you're going to try and sell him because he's got only 18 months left on his contract, don't loan him out so you waste up 6 of those months for nothing. And now he's going to come back and we're going to have all this speculation again and everything going on. It's just a unwanted distraction. It should have been sorted a long time ago. And that makes me think, have I got faith in this lot and bringing in the right players? No, not at all, to be honest with you. And I don't think it's necessarily Bruno. I'm sure Bruno's got a list of players he wants to bring in, but I think he might have trouble signing them off.
Agree. Harry?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got faith either. That Traore one just sticks out. Things don't feel right. And you mentioned that first window when we got promoted. It's all different behind the scenes now, isn't it? It don't feel the same as then. So, but we've got to get it right. And do they trust Bruno? Because with the system, we don't know if he gets much of a say, do we? So it's going to be an interesting season. And someone's put in the comments, Jamie Evans, reportedly interested FC. That is us in a nutshell. That's all we're going to hear for the next few months. Wolves are reportedly interested in and Aston Villa have already signed someone. So let's see what happens. We've got to trust them. Yeah. But what else can we do?
You've got to act quickly, haven't you? Because I would 100% go in for Origi, all day long. He's won everything that he can at Liverpool. He's going to be available on a free transfer. Potentially means you can spend a little bit more on the wages because his wages are just going to be higher because he's top 4. But would you not? Would you not take Origi?
It seems like an Everton signing, that one, didn't it? I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd take him. But opinions, innit? Opinions. I don't know who we're going to get. I actually can't even. I mean, we're linked with all these Barca players and things like that. They just rely on Uncle George too much, don't they? I'd love to see him change that philosophy, but I don't think we're going to see it.
No, I think you're right. And Wolves' pre-season tour of America has been cancelled. I mean, Jack, we were going to go and we were like,
probably,
let's work out when it was going to be and all this sort of stuff. And John Percy has gone and...
Was it John Percy?
It was.
That's all right.
It was, yeah. John Percy _ fake account. Yeah, so that is disappointing because I think they really did want to go to America, didn't they? That's the thing.
Well, I definitely wanted to go, and the thing is, it's not very good prep this because it's quite a short closed season this time, isn't it? Because of the fact of the Qatar World Cup and the season starting at the very start of August, and that's not a good way to, it's going to disrupt your plans straight away. Now you thought you were going to America, and now you're trying to, probably ringing up crew for a friendly. So interesting to see how it pans out. I'm guessing they'll still go to a training camp on the continent like they've sort of done in previous years. But
what John Percy said is that Wolves have reluctantly cancelled their US pre-season tour. Ohio tournament fell through last week, and with concerns over financial viability, friendlies versus San Jose and Louisville have also been scrapped. Major disappointment, but Wolves now set for training camp abroad. Harry, you said back to Ireland then.
Let's go back to the McCarthy days. Get over Ireland. Get back to our roots. Yeah. Get them in army training. They deserve some punishment. I don't know why they've ended this military training into them. No, son.
I mean, they've only got 4 or 5 weeks probably off before they probably have to be back, haven't they?
Really, early, doesn't it? Yeah.
And Bruno's going to want some players in by then. And I've just got no confidence that we're going to see any players by then. We'll probably just he'll be doing first team training on the the start of July with about 8 players probably.
Will we sat here deadline day linked with Kiefer Moore again last minute?
The 2 a.m. signing. Yes, because the Premier League will begin on the weekend of the 6th and 7th of August. So that's 1 week earlier than normal.
Yeah, because of the World Cup.
Should
we give a shout? I don't know. We mentioned it before. Do we give a shout out to the Fantasy League winner? I know we haven't mentioned it since the beginning of last season because everyone forgets about it. But
Yeah, who was it?
Good question, Sam. Yeah, it was,
all I know is that I came pretty much. I definitely came last out of the 5 of us or whatever it is.
I'll tell you.
So
now.
I came about 73rd out of 78 or something. Like Jack came about 65th. Bayliss came about 40 something, and Harry, I think you're about 20th.
No, I think I was 30th. I don't want to. Actually, I did look before the. Right, I'm just going to get the winner a shout out because it's only fair, isn't it? I came 30th. Yeah, the winner. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. His name is Vitalio Ludmilov. So fair play to him. He got 2,632 points. George Williams comes second. Called Never's Gonna Win his team. That's a good name, isn't it? Trev FC came third, so that was the top 3. Ethan Howell, who's actually in the chat now, is 4th. Yeah, I just said back of the netto his name. I was going to go through some of these names here. They look good. Yeah. I think I got the best name. Is your mother well? There we go. But well done, everyone. I mean, the first year we did that, we gave away a shirt, but we're poor these days, so we don't do that.
It's cost of living crisis.
Bayliss has got all the money. Any advertising money.
Yeah.
Bayliss has got it, and he's just left the podcast, so he's on a beach somewhere spending it.
That means you're getting the curry, doesn't it, Sam? The loser curry. Oh, yeah. That's a pencil that in. Does Bayliss get an invite if he's left?
No, he's left.
Okay.
Gets rid of all the perks. Oh, right. Okay. So, I guess we don't really know when our next podcast
Should we maybe do, if something big happens, maybe we'll do it in the summer, but it's most likely going to be start of August, isn't it, really?
So when Neves leaves.
Should we leave off with our favourite moment of the season, excluding Villa away? Excluding Villa away?
Oh, okay.
Because that's the obvious one, isn't it, Villa away? You got any others, Jack, that
come
to mind?
I mean, to be honest, yesterday was just a very funny away end, and it was a great end to the season. I really enjoyed it, and if you what's better than pissing off a few Scousers, just to wrap off the year? It was just very good banter, and it was it was really quite fun. I mean, the funny thing is, just thinking back now, is the Liverpool fans threw a flare into our away end, and 2 minutes later, I get told off by the security for vaping. So, okay, yeah, they don't look at that. They don't look at what the Liverpool fans do. But it's
if you had a red vape, if the vape was red, you'd been. Okay.
It's absolutely hilarious. A couple of these things, like some of the absolute specimens walking around. We were walking past the ground quite early because we were going over to the Everton side, and there was men like older than me in their 30s, full kit, walking about outside. I'm like thinking, what are these people doing? Yeah,
full kit and not on a stag.
Full kit wanker walking around deadly seriously, pushing 40. I'm like,
did they have shin pads on?
Like,
I did have a can of special brew
actually. But no, it was a good day. That I mean, Chelsea away, that last minute equaliser was a good laugh as well. Good recent times.
It's funny you're mentioning away games because apart from a couple of games, our home. We didn't have much entertainment at home, did we? Really, it was a tough one. Apart from Villa,
my favourite was Palace at home. Brilliant day, had by all. And if you saw us in Worcester on that evening, then you would have completely agreed with that.
Yeah, I wrote down.
I'm not going to say it. You just made now everyone's going to speculate.
Yeah, no. I wrote down Man U away.
Moving on.
Buzzing for that one. I didn't go, but watching it was insane. And another one, just for me personally, I only went to one away game last year because I'm a plastic. And Leicester away, first game of the season, that was my first game back in a stadium after COVID and that. So even though we lost that day, I felt like it was like a really good day just to be back in an away end and back in with fans. So grateful to have the football back, but that's clutching at straws a bit, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, to be honest, as a moment of the season, I think it was how excited I was after watching the first 3 games, even though we lost them all. I was actually really, really excited about the brand of football that we were going to be playing, and that did not materialise. So it's the hope that kills you. Oh, right. So yeah, if something big happens, we'll get the cameras rolling again. But otherwise, it's going to be a summer break. We don't know how long Bayliss' summer break will be. Whether he's stopped crying yet. But I cannot wait to tell him that the news that has ended his career was fake. So we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
Yeah, I'd just say thanks everyone for listening and watching, and I hope Bayliss comes back. And please keep rating us on Spotify. I want to get it up to 80 before next season. 5 stars. We're on 70 odd. So thank you everyone for listening and watching. We still enjoy doing it, don't we? Don't look like we do, but we do. So there we go.
Absolutely. And Jack Williams.
Yeah, definitely. See you all in August, probably. Cheers.
Perfect, yes. And it is a thank you for listening and a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Bye.